I have been married to my wife, Amy, for 15 years. I work as an executive at a company, while Amy is a homemaker. In her 20s, she used to work at a plant nursery, but after we got married, she chose to focus on managing our home. We are blessed with two daughters, Emma, who is 13 years old, and Ella, who is 11 years old. Our family was content until a shocking truth emerged about my wife's infidelity discovered inadvertently through our smart TV. Last week, during our friend John's birthday celebration via video call, an unexpected revelation unfolded. John, who has been residing in a different country for the past few years, was being virtually celebrated by us, my wife, John's wife, and I. Following the initial birthday wishes, casual conversations about work and life ensued. Given John's lack of other birthday plans, we decided to extend the virtual hangout and unwind together. To enhance our virtual experience, John's wife suggested chromecasting the WhatsApp video call through the TV. Amy and John's wife share a close bond, having spent considerable time together previously when they resided in the same city. Utilizing the TV remote app on her phone, Amy seamlessly connected her phone to the TV, allowing us to relax and enjoy the virtual celebration with beers and snacks. As the night progressed, Amy began feeling unwell and eventually drifted off to sleep on the couch. Meanwhile, John and I continued our conversation, unaware that John's wife had also dozed off. Suddenly, the call disconnected due to internet issues, and my wife's WhatsApp screen was projected onto the TV. That's when I noticed several unread messages from someone named Lifeline, accompanied by a heart symbol. This unexpected discovery piqued my curiosity, prompting me to investigate further. Upon clicking on the profile picture, I uncovered that Lifeline was none other than Amy's childhood friend, Matt. Despite having met Matt numerous times throughout our marriage, as he and Amy were close neighbors and school friends, I never suspected anything untoward between them. Amy assured me that their relationship was purely platonic, emphasizing that Matt wasn't romantically inclined towards women. However, my suspicions were aroused when I stumbled upon a message in their chat that read, "Baby, I miss you." Concerned, I delved deeper into their conversation, only to find expressions of affection and longing that were decidedly more intimate than those between mere friends. Matt's messages, laden with phrases like, "Why aren't you replying?" and "I can't sleep without your goodnight kiss," left me in no doubt that their relationship transcended the boundaries of friendship. At that moment, I was confronted with the stark reality of their emotional affair, prompting a wave of emotions and uncertainties about the future of my marriage. The discovery of my wife's emotional affair shook me to the core, unraveling the fabric of trust that had defined our marriage. As I scrolled through their chat history, the depths of their betrayal became painfully clear. Night after night, they engaged in graphic messaging punctuated by X-rated photos and videos that sent shivers down my spine. Despite the emotional turmoil raging within me, an insatiable curiosity propelled me to unearth every sordid detail of their clandestine relationship. While my wife peacefully slept on the couch, oblivious to the storm brewing within me, I delved deeper into the graphic content she had shared with her secret lover. Each detailed photo and video added to my anguish, yet I couldn't tear myself away from the screen. Consumed by a desire to understand the how and why behind her betrayal, I snapped pictures of the TV screen, capturing damning evidence of her infidelity. In the early hours of the morning, fueled by a potent mix of alcohol and disbelief, I found myself adrift in a sea of emotional turmoil. The unraveling of my failed marriage played out before me on the large TV screen, leaving me feeling utterly hollow and devoid of purpose. My wife's willingness to divulge even the most intimate details of our life together with her lover filled me with a profound sense of revulsion. As I scrolled through their conversation, each message a dagger to my wounded heart, I searched in vain for answers amidst the endless abyss of betrayal. The eerie silence that enveloped the house, punctuated only by the soft glow of the TV screen, felt like a haunting nightmare from which I couldn't wake. Suddenly, my wife stirred from her slumber, her drowsy state quickly giving way to sheer panic as she realized the extent of her deceit laid bare before her. With trembling hands, she snatched the remote from my grasp and hastily disconnected her phone from the TV, attempting to erase the evidence of her infidelity. I watched her with a mixture of disbelief and resignation as she scrolled through her lover's messages, her futile attempts at damage control falling on deaf ears. When she turned to me, desperation etched across her features, pleading for a chance to explain, I felt a surge of anger and betrayal. Struggling to find the right words, she faltered, her pleas for forgiveness ringing hollow in the cold light of truth. In that moment, as the weight of her betrayal bore down on me, I made a decision. With a heavy heart and a sense of resignation, I turned away, leaving her to face the consequences of her actions alone. The morning after that tumultuous night unfolded with a heavy weight pressing against my temples and a foggy recollection of the events that transpired. As I ventured out of my room in search of solace in a bottle of water, I was met with the sight of Amy rushing towards me, her eyes pleading for understanding. The memories of her betrayal flooded back, and I instinctively recoiled, refusing her embrace. With tear-filled eyes and a sense of desperation, she attempted to explain, insisting that I had misunderstood the situation. But her feeble attempts at justification only served to heighten my agitation. As I reached for a water bottle from the refrigerator, her words of reassurance fell on deaf ears, drowned out by the echoes of betrayal ringing in my mind. Summoning the courage to confront her, I questioned the absurdity of her claims. How could she dismiss the explicit messages and intimate exchanges as mere harmless flirtation? My voice trembled with a mixture of anger and disbelief as I demanded answers, grappling with the shattered illusion of our marriage. Thankfully, the solitude of the Saturday morning spared us the presence of our children, who were away on summer vacation with my parents. With a steely gaze fixed upon her, I silently implored her to reveal the truth, no matter how devastating it may be. As she struggled to find the words to justify her actions, I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. The truth hung heavy in the air, begging to be acknowledged, yet each revelation threatened to unravel the fragile remnants of our marriage. In a moment of clarity amidst the chaos, I downed the entire bottle of water in a desperate attempt to quell the storm raging within me. With resolve hardened by betrayal, I issued an ultimatum demanding a full confession or I would confront her deceitful lover with a vengeance. Facing the stark reality of her deception, Amy chose to lay bare the truth, admitting to a long-standing affair with Matt that spanned back to their high school years. Despite their tumultuous history, Matt's inability to provide financial stability had always loomed over their relationship, casting a shadow of uncertainty over their future. Despite his shortcomings, Matt displayed a peculiar indifference towards Amy's romantic pursuits, a stark contrast to the possessiveness that characterized their relationship. Amy's attempts to sever ties were met with fleeting promises of change, as Matt's commitment issues continued to plague their tumultuous affair. As I grappled with the revelations before me, a sense of incredulity washed over me. How could she have concealed such a profound betrayal for so long? And why had she chosen to remain with me, knowing that her heart belonged to another? In the wake of her confession, I was left to reconcile the shattered fragments of our marriage, grappling with the harsh reality that the foundation upon which we had built our lives was nothing but a facade. The revelation of Amy's betrayal struck me like a thunderbolt, shattering the illusion of the life we had built together. Despite my efforts to provide a comfortable lifestyle for her, Amy had chosen to lead a double life tethered to a tumultuous relationship with Matt that spanned over a decade. The weight of her deception threatened to suffocate me, leaving me grappling with questions that gnawed at the core of my being. In a desperate bid to salvage what little remained of our shattered marriage, I confronted Amy with the ultimate question: were our children truly mine, or the product of her illicit affair with Matt? Her assurances fell on deaf ears as I wrestled with doubts that refused to be silenced. Despite her solemn oath, I couldn't shake the nagging suspicion that the truth had been distorted beyond recognition. With a heavy heart and a sense of resignation, I demanded she leave our home, unwilling to endure the charade any longer. The prospect of revealing her betrayal to our daughters loomed ominously, casting a shadow over the fragile remnants of our family life. Yet, even in the midst of my turmoil, I couldn't bear the thought of subjecting our children to the harsh reality of their mother's infidelity. Retreating to the solace of my room, I sought refuge in the numbing embrace of alcohol, my only companion in the darkness that engulfed me. Hours stretched into eternity as I grappled with the weight of my shattered dreams, the truth gnawing at my insides like a relentless predator. Driven by an overwhelming sense of despair, I sought solace in the familiar surroundings of my in-laws' home, desperate for a semblance of understanding in the wake of the chaos that had consumed my life. With trembling hands and a heart heavy with grief, I bared my soul to them, laying bare the painful truth that had torn our family apart. As the hours wore on, emotions ran high, tempers flaring amidst accusations and recriminations. Amy's attempts to downplay the severity of her actions only served to fuel my anger, while her parents' unwavering support provided a glimmer of hope in the darkness that threatened to engulf me. With each passing moment, the reality of our shattered marriage became painfully clear, leaving me grappling with the harsh truth that our once idyllic life had been nothing but a facade. As I returned to the familiar routine of work, the weight of my grief hung heavy upon me, a constant reminder of the shattered dreams that lay in ruins at my feet. Haunted by the specter of betrayal, I resolved to take control of my destiny, seeking solace in the promise of a new beginning. With the help of a divorce lawyer, I began the arduous journey of untangling the web of deceit that had ensnared me, determined to reclaim the fragments of my shattered life and forge a path towards healing. I couldn't shake the sinking feeling as I returned home to find some of Amy's belongings missing. It was as if she had slipped away in the shadows, leaving behind a hollow emptiness that echoed through the empty rooms. Her message, informing me of her temporary retreat to a hotel, felt like a feeble attempt to brush aside the gravity of the situation. Did she truly believe that a few days' distance could erase the years of betrayal that had torn our family asunder? As the days dragged on with agonizing slowness, each passing moment served as a stark reminder of the gaping chasm that had opened up between us. Despite her desperate pleas for forgiveness and promises to sever ties with her lover, the wounds of her betrayal festered, refusing to heal. The impending weekend loomed ominously on the horizon, promising only solitude and introspection in its wake. With an appointment with the lawyer looming on the horizon, I found myself adrift in a sea of uncertainty, grappling with the daunting prospect of navigating the complexities of divorce. In a desperate bid to find solace amidst the chaos, I turned to Reddit for guidance, only to find that my predicament was far from unique. Yet, amidst the sea of anonymous voices, I found a glimmer of hope, a beacon of light amidst the darkness that threatened to consume me. With each passing day, the weight of my daughter's well-being weighed heavily on my mind. How could I shield them from the fallout of our shattered family without betraying the truth that lay hidden beneath the surface? It was a delicate balancing act, fraught with uncertainty and doubt. 6 months had passed since my initial post, and the journey towards healing had been anything but linear. With the guidance of my lawyer, I navigated the treacherous waters of custody negotiations with a sense of determination and resolve. Yet, amidst the legal battles and emotional upheaval, my primary concern remained the well-being of my daughters. The day of reckoning arrived, and as the divorce papers lay before me, a sense of closure washed over me. It was a bittersweet victory, tempered by the knowledge that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges and obstacles. Yet, amidst the wreckage of my shattered marriage, I found a newfound sense of strength and resilience. As I ushered Amy into the unfamiliar territory of single parenthood, I couldn't help but wonder at the depths of her betrayal. How could she have concealed her infidelity for so long, all the while professing her love and devotion to our family? It was a question that would haunt me for years to come, a testament to the fragile nature of trust and the devastating consequences of betrayal. As the weight of Amy's betrayal bore down on me, I knew that decisive action was necessary. With a resolve born of desperation, I delivered an ultimatum, giving her 1 week to come clean to our daughters about her infidelity or face the consequences. With my trust shattered and my heart heavy with grief, I retreated to the solitude of the bedroom couch, seeking refuge in fitful sleep as the days crawled by with agonizing slowness. Throughout that tumultuous week, I found myself consumed by a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. While I sympathized with Amy's anguish, I couldn't shake the gnawing sense of betrayal that had taken root in my soul. How could she have concealed her affair for so long, betraying not only our marriage but the trust of our family as well? As the weekend drew near, Amy's cries echoed through the night, a haunting reminder of the turmoil that had engulfed our lives. Yet, amidst the chaos, I remained steadfast in my determination to uphold the truth, no matter the cost. On Friday evening, Amy approached me with a plan to break the news to our daughters. With a heavy heart, I nodded in reluctant agreement, bracing myself for the inevitable confrontation that lay ahead. The following morning, as we gathered for breakfast, Amy broached the subject with a thinly veiled explanation about a job transfer and a temporary relocation. Yet, despite her attempts to cloak the truth in half-truths and deception, our daughters saw through the facade, their innocent eyes brimming with confusion and uncertainty. In a moment of clarity amidst the chaos, my younger daughter called out the inconsistency in Amy's story, while my elder daughter bravely confronted us with the question that hung heavy in the air. With a heavy heart and a sense of resignation, I urged Amy to come clean, to face the consequences of her actions head on. Yet, instead of embracing the truth, Amy retreated into denial, leaving our daughters to grapple with the harsh reality of our shattered family. In a moment of frustration and anger, I found myself unraveling the painful truth, sparing no detail in my recounting of the events that had torn our family apart. As accusations flew and tempers flared, I realized that there could be no easy resolution to the tangled web of deceit that had ensnared us. Yet, amidst the chaos and confusion, I found solace in the unwavering support of my daughters, their love and understanding serving as a beacon of hope in the darkness that threatened to consume us all. The situation reached a boiling point, and I knew it was time to put an end to Amy's manipulative tactics. Gathering both sets of parents, I orchestrated a confrontation that laid bare the ugly truth of Amy's betrayal. In the midst of tears and accusations, I stood my ground, armed with evidence of her deceit. As the truth unfolded before our eyes, Amy's attempts to deflect blame only served to highlight the depth of her deception. It was a painful realization, watching the woman I once loved unravel before me, yet I remained resolute in my decision to move forward with the divorce. With the support of my parents and in-laws, we navigated the turbulent waters of separation, united in our determination to protect the well-being of our daughters. It was a trying time, but amidst the chaos, we found strength in our solidarity. In the aftermath of the confrontation, Amy's promises of change rang hollow, her actions speaking louder than words. Despite her assurances, she continued to betray my trust, her affair laid bare for all to see. As the dust settled, I turned my focus to rebuilding my life and providing a stable environment for my daughters. With therapy and unwavering support, we emerged from the darkness stronger than before, ready to face the challenges that lay ahead. As the divorce proceedings unfolded, Amy's true priorities became clear, her claim on our home a stark reminder of her greed and deceit. Yet, amidst the turmoil, I found solace in the knowledge that my daughters were safe and protected, their well-being my top priority. Meanwhile, Amy's downward spiral continued, her actions resulting in consequences she could no longer escape. It was a sobering reminder of the destructive power of betrayal, and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As I look to the future, my focus remains on providing a loving and stable environment for my daughters, free from the chaos and turmoil of the past. With each passing day, we move closer to healing, our bond stronger than ever before. Our son's health struggles were a constant source of worry and frustration for our family. From a young age, he seemed prone to illness, with doctors initially suspecting anemia. As he grew older, his symptoms intensified, leaving him immobilized by severe trapped gas, plagued by fatigue, and plagued by lightheadedness and dizzy spells. Navigating his health issues was like walking through a maze with no clear path forward. Despite numerous tests, his condition remained a mystery, leaving us grappling with uncertainty and anxiety. We empathized deeply with his suffering, feeling powerless to alleviate his pain. Our lives revolved around hospital visits and emergency room trips, our family dynamic overshadowed by the specter of his illness. It was a heavy burden to bear, one that took a toll on all of us. However, a glimmer of hope emerged when we sought a second opinion from a new doctor. To our relief, he diagnosed our son with celiac disease, a hereditary condition that had gone undetected for years. Eliminating gluten from his diet proved to be a game changer, restoring his health and bringing a sense of normalcy back to our lives. For the first time in years, we felt a sense of control over our son's health, no longer held captive by the unpredictability of his condition. It was a profound relief, a reprieve from the constant worry that had consumed us for so long. Little did we know, this newfound clarity would unearth a long-buried secret, one that would rock the foundation of our family. The doctor's suggestion that we undergo a blood test to trace the origin of the disease opened a Pandora's box of revelations. The results of the blood test sent shockwaves through our family, challenging everything we thought we knew about our son's illness. With each negative result, The mystery deepened, leaving us grasping for answers. As we grappled with the implications of the test results, my mind drifted back to the time of our son's conception, a time marked by humor and lightheartedness. Yet, beneath the surface, there lingered a nagging doubt, a whisper of uncertainty that refused to be silenced. The facade of my seemingly happy life crumbled around me, leaving behind a wreckage of shattered trust and betrayal. It was a devastating blow, one that left me reeling in disbelief and heartache. Reflecting on the past, I couldn't shake the nagging doubts that had plagued me since our son's birth. Despite using protection, her dismissive response to my jesting suggestion lingered in my mind like a haunting specter. I had buried those doubts deep within, unwilling to confront the possibility that my son might not be my biological child. The decision to finally confront the truth was agonizing, fraught with fear and uncertainty. Ordering the DNA test felt like a betrayal of the family I had worked so hard to build. Yet I knew I couldn't continue living in denial. When the results arrived, confirming my worst fears, it was as if the ground had been ripped out from beneath me. The realization that my son was not biologically mine tore through the fabric of my reality, leaving me adrift in a sea of despair. As I grappled with the enormity of the revelation, she returned home to find me in a state of utter devastation. In a moment of raw anguish, I confronted her, demanding answers to the questions that had plagued me for years. Her initial response was one of denial and defensiveness, a futile attempt to evade the truth. But as I pressed her, refusing to accept anything less than the full truth, her facade began to crumble. In a moment of stark vulnerability, she confessed to her affair with a former coworker, a betrayal that had remained hidden for over a decade. The revelation struck me like a dagger to the heart, the magnitude of her deceit unfathomable. Her words echoed in the silence that followed, each syllable a painful reminder of the life we had built on a foundation of lies. The depth of her betrayal was staggering, leaving me grappling with the weight of a truth I had never dared to imagine. Yet, amidst the wreckage of our shattered marriage, there was a glimmer of clarity. In her confession, she had unwittingly unveiled the truth, freeing us from the web of deception that had ensnared us for so long. As we navigated the turbulent waters of separation and divorce, I found solace in the knowledge that the truth, however painful, had set us free. And though the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, I knew that I would emerge stronger, armed with the knowledge that even in the darkest of times, the truth will always prevail. The revelation of my wife's betrayal shook the very foundation of my existence, leaving me adrift in a sea of doubt and disillusionment. What once seemed like a picture-perfect life now felt like a carefully constructed facade, masking the painful truth that lay beneath. In the aftermath of this devastating discovery, trust became an elusive concept, a fragile thread hanging by a thread. The bond we once shared, built on years of love and companionship, now seemed tenuous at best. It's not merely the act of infidelity that haunts me, but the realization that the life I thought I knew was nothing but a mirage. Despite the material comforts that surround us, I find myself grappling with a profound sense of loss. Our home, our possessions, our shared aspirations all pale in comparison to the shattered trust that lies between us. The revelation that our son is not biologically mine only compounds the pain, leaving me feeling adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The tears that I once held back now flow freely, a testament to the depth of my anguish. Unable to bear the weight of my shattered illusions, I reached out to my boss, seeking solace and understanding. His unexpected act of kindness, driving over to ensure my well-being and offering words of comfort, provided a glimmer of hope in my darkest hour. As we sat together, he shared a poignant story that struck a chord deep within me, a tale of loss and resilience in the face of adversity. Inspired by his words, I made the decision to take a step back from the turmoil of my everyday life and embark on a journey of self-discovery. Travel has always been a lifelong dream, a distant longing overshadowed by the demands of responsibility. But now, as I stand at a crossroads, I realize that this is my chance to reclaim a sense of purpose and identity. With my boss's encouragement, I applied for a tourist visa to Kenya, a destination rich in culture and history, offering the promise of new experiences and perspectives. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, I allowed myself to feel a glimmer of excitement at the prospect of this journey. It's not about running away from my problems, as my wife suggested, but rather about finding the space and clarity I need to heal and move forward. I understand that my son is not to blame for the circumstances of his birth, yet I can't help but feel a profound sense of disconnect. This trip represents more than just a temporary escape, it's an opportunity to rediscover myself and redefine my relationship with the world around me. In the midst of heartache and uncertainty, I cling to the hope that this journey will provide the clarity and perspective I so desperately seek. And as I prepare to embark on this new chapter, I find solace in the belief that sometimes the greatest adventures begin when we dare to step outside our comfort zone. After my rejuvenating trip to Kenya, I returned home with a newfound clarity, determined to confront the tumultuous situation that awaited me. While it might not have been the most opportune moment to embark on such a journey, the temporary respite it provided from the weight of my thoughts was invaluable. For a fleeting moment, I could immerse myself in the beauty of nature, bask in the warmth of unfamiliar faces, and relish the simple pleasures of life. Yet, as I stepped back into the confines of my home, the reality of my fractured family dynamic hit me with full force. The once familiar surroundings now felt foreign and unwelcoming, haunted by the specter of betrayal that loomed over every interaction. Unable to bear the sight of my wife or the echoes of her voice, I found myself retreating into solitude, a solitary refuge from the chaos that engulfed me. Despite my efforts to shield my son from the turmoil brewing within our household, I couldn't shake the gnawing sense of disconnect that had taken root in my heart. His innocence and intuition served as a constant reminder of the emotional turmoil that threatened to consume me. While I vow never to forsake my responsibilities as his father, the strain of recent events has left me grappling with feelings of detachment that I can't seem to shake. As my wife tentatively broached the subject of reconciliation, suggesting marriage counseling as a means to mend our fractured relationship, I found myself consumed by doubt and mistrust. How could I ever trust her assurances of fidelity when she had concealed such a monumental secret for over a decade? The very foundation of our marriage had been built upon deceit, leaving me questioning the authenticity of every word she spoke. In light of these revelations, I made the difficult decision to pursue a divorce, recognizing that it was the only path forward for both myself and my son. While the prospect of severing ties with my wife is undeniably daunting, I am committed to ensuring that my son's well-being remains paramount. Despite the emotional distance that currently separates us, I remain steadfast in my determination to provide him with the love and support he deserves. As the legal proceedings progress, I am actively preparing for the next chapter of my life, securing a new living arrangement and laying the groundwork for a fresh start. While the road ahead may be fraught with challenges, I am steadfast in my belief that I have the strength and resilience to weather any storm. And though the scars of betrayal may linger, I am hopeful that they will ultimately fade, making way for a brighter future filled with hope and healing.